So this session is about really trying to understand what moderation and what mediation are. So we're going to look at the meaning of mediation and what moderation, and how we can use the SPSS software to carry out moderation and mediation analysis. When we talk about mediation, the idea is that there is a relationship, a direct relationship between the predictor, X and Y. But we believe that a third variable, which is called the mediator, comes into the scene, such that the influence of X and Y, which is the direct one, can also be assessed through the indirect means. In other words, although X can improve Y, but when it passes through Z or Z, the impact will be enhanced. You understand? So the idea is that although X can improve Y, but when it passes through when it passes through Z, then the impacts, that is the direct effect, could be enhanced. And that is the theory behind what we call mediation. Let's put it this way. We say that the mediators help to better explain the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. Okay. For a mediator, it helps to better explain the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. That's why another term for mediation is what we call the indirect effect. So in statistical nomenclature of language, when we talk about indirect effects, we are talking about mediation. Indirect effects. Yeah, we are talking about mediation. And I said that maybe we are doing personal selling. So our personal selling is the X. We believe that personal selling can improve marketing performance. But when we run advertisements alongside the personal selling, then the impact of the personal selling can be enhanced in terms of that of the marketing performance. Do you understand? We have personal selling where we have our salespeople go out there to sell. But we believe that it is not enough. But once we are doing personal selling, and then we also do alongside advertisements, it can help to predict or enhance the effect of personal selling on marketing performance. Okay. So it means that theoretically, personal selling should have a relationship with advertisement as well. Okay. That's why you see that it's predicted. Then advertisement should also have a relationship with what? The dependent variable, which is the marketing performance. So when you draw a conceptual framework, normally you are a mediator, the predictive relationship or an arrow points at it, and also arrow move from it to another variable. And that is how we illustrate mediation. Now, we can use the SPSS to test this one, but we have to do it manually. Thanks to this Professor Hayes, he developed what we call the SPSS process macro software package. So here we store the SPSS process macro into the SPSS package, and that will really help us to be able to configure our model to test our mediation. Okay. So we use that one to illustrate that. Then we also have what we call moderation. A moderator is any factor that intervenes, or variable that intervenes in the relationship between the predictor or predictors, and that of the dependent variable or variables. Moderator comes or intervenes in the relationship between the predictor and the dependent variable. Therefore, conceptually, moderators affect the predictive relationship. So we can put our moderator on this arrow. They affect the predictive relationship. So we put our moderator on this arrow. So maybe our moderator is N. The idea is that moderators affect the relationship between, or the direct relationship between, the dependent variable and the independent variable. However, we can also have series of other type of moderation. We can have moderated mediation and all those things. Because this is a mediation, right? It passes through. It is a mediation. But another factor can what? Affect it. So it's a moderated what? Mediation.
So we will mention the mediation moderation first, or
whichever. Go and look at it. Moderated mediation.
Mediation, okay.
It's a mediation.
So we have a mediation. Mm-hmm. Then between the predictor and the mediator, mm-hmm. Then we have a moderator variable.
Yeah, we can have a moderator variable. I want to draw attention that it is not only on the direct effects that we can have moderation.
Okay.
We can have more than one moderation or more than one mediation in a single model. Depends on how you configure your research, conceptual framework, and the objectives that you are pursuing. Okay. So you see that moderators, they affect the relationship between the predictors and that of the outcome variable or the dependent variable. Now, the role of mediator is that it has two main roles. Mediator can affect the direction of the relationship. It can affect the direction of the relationship between the predictor and the dependent variable. It can affect the direction. So if the relationship, the normal or the direct relationship is maybe positive, when you introduce the moderation, you can change it from being positive to what? Negative. Or if it is negative, when you introduce the moderator, it can change the relationship to what? Positive. Then, the second one is that it affects the strength of the relationship. Maybe the predictive relationship is moderate. It's moderate. But when you introduce the moderator into the equation, you can change it from being moderate to maybe substantial or large, or you can move it from low. And so that is the role that the moderator also plays in the context of the conceptual framework. And when you want to use the SPSS process macro, it has already predetermined some kind of path analysis that you can do. So these are regression. Another term is path analysis. Regression is for path analysis. So here, regression and path analysis. That is it. That is what we call structural equation modeling. It's a combination of factor analysis and regression, illustrated on a graph. So in most path analysis, the SPSS process macro has predetermined some models. They have already configured some models there, and they are giving them model number. So if you look at the way your model is, you cross-check with the model number that it corresponds to, and based on the model number, you follow the steps, and then you estimate, and then you interpret your results. You understand? So in the SPSS process macro, we have a lot of model numbers. So you have to ask yourself, model number one, what does it look like? So maybe assuming that when you talk about model one, maybe it looks like this. As an example, yeah, maybe it looks like this. So, yeah. So if your model, your data analysis, the model number, the objective that you have, it has something like this. Then you go and pick that model number and you use its parameters.
Okay.
To estimate or to analyze the data. After you have selected your independent, your dependent, and then the moderator, that you put them in there to run, then you interpret the results. So it simplifies, it really simplifies the path analysis for you, or what we call the structural equation modeling. Okay.
I'm being here path analysis.
So that is that. The software is very, it comes in so many upgrades. Okay. I don't know the package that they installed for you. Yeah. Every day they are advancing it.
Okay. I know so I can start with this one.
Yeah. So now let's go into our data.
So you said that the SAM is a combination of path analysis and then
regression, macro regression. And when you are using it to test objectives, hypotheses, then we say we are doing path analysis. You know, where we are able to estimate the R square. The R square is always found in the latent variable. Then your predictors or the beta that we checked at the regression are the what we call path coefficients here. Then the questions, the factor analysis, we say that if it is 0.3 above, it is valid. Here we see that if it is 0.7 above, it is valid. So the indicators are also there. So it's the same thing. To write from this, I'm going to introduce you to the structural equation model, which I'm sure you can easily do. Okay, so let's go into a data file and get some variables to practice with. Okay.